Hi, superstars. It is time for science, and we are on the module Protecting Our Earth. We are on lesson 3, Reduce, Reuse, Recycle. Open your science books to page 194. All right, put your name and date on the top. Reduce, reuse, recycle. All right, two friends are talking about trash and how reduce, reuse, and recycle is used to solve problems related to trash. They each have different ideas about how these three words help people solve the problem of too much trash in our environment. So, we are going to read each of our friends' ideas. Mandy says, I think reduce, reuse, and recycle is about not having any trash. Marcus says, I think reduce, reuse, and recycle is about having less trash. So I want you to choose the friend that you think has the best idea about what reduce, reuse, and recycle is about. You're going to learn more about this as we go on throughout this lesson. So pick the one you think has the best idea and just circle it. Good job. Okay, we're going to watch a short video. And while you're watching this, what do you wonder about what the people are doing? What does it look like they're doing? You've heard of a landscape architect. Let's watch this video of Kayla. She wants to make sure that her landscapes are free of trash. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and every spring I help my grandma plan our flower garden, just like a landscape architect. Landscape architects make plans and decide what plants go in a garden for a museum or park. They might also help businesses plan what the landscape around their building will look like too. To make the gardens look nice, a landscape architect needs to know a lot about plants. Plants have different needs. Some require a lot of sun, some require a lot of water. They also need to know how big plants will grow. Our garden gets a lot of shade, so we need to pick flowers that don't need a lot of sun.
Kayla?
Oops, my grandma is calling me. I better get back to planning our garden.
Let's go and open up our science books to page 195. Make sure you put your name and date on top. We watched the video of Kayla. What do you wonder about the objects? So Kayla is asking, what do you wonder about conservation? How can we take care of Earth? Landscape architects want to make parks and gardens look nice. They help take care of Earth. What are some things you can do to take care of Earth? I want you to draw a picture. So think about how you can take care of Earth. We watched the video of the landscape architect and how they want to make the gardens beautiful and the parks look nice. So now it's your turn to show me some way that you can take care of Earth. So I want you to draw a picture. I can't wait to see it. Let's turn to page 196 in our science books. Make sure you put your name and date on the top. And this is sorting recyclables. Label 5 containers: trash, plastic, paper, metal, and other. And then we're going to sort the trash. So you're going to make a prediction. And remember that a prediction is a statement of what you expect to observe in the future. Now, remember that unless we don't recycle some of the trash we have, that it will all go into a landfill. It'll just go on the land and pile up and cause pollution on Earth. So it's better to try to recycle. That way we can reuse items rather than just throwing them in landfills. Okay? Now, you just saw a video of those children recycling bottles. So now you're going to investigate what can be recycled in your own home. So look over here at these items, and I want you to circle the items that you think can be recycled. Okay, so circle what you think can be recycled. Okay, so now we are turning to our next page, 197. So you're going to need an adult to help you. You are going to collect the trash that you produce in your home. If we were in class, we would have done this in class. But since you're in your home, you're going to have to do this in your home. So you're going to have to ask an adult, your mom or dad, or an older sibling to help you. So you're going to collect the garbage for a week, and you are going to sort it out. And we're going to make a graph over here on page 197. Put your name and date on here. So, as you see, we have plastic, paper, metal, and other. So you're going to sort the trash, and then we are going to graph it on this graph. You see all these squares here? So after 1 week, you're going to count how many plastic objects you have, how many paper objects, how many metal, and how many other. So if you see the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 goes all the way up your paper, all the way to 12. So let's say you're at the plastic, and maybe you have 3 plastic cups. So what you're going to do is you're going to color in 3 of those squares going up. You see where it's 0, color 1 square, then 2 squares, then 3 squares, and you're going to color them up so you have a long row going up. And then you're going to go to your paper, and you might have a separate container. And so you might have a paper cup, you might have a napkin, you might have some newspaper. So you're going to count how many paper objects you have, and you are going to color in those boxes all the way as high as many as you have. And the same with the metal. And again, you're going to have an adult help you with this. And they can show you how to color each item. And that way we can see what you collected over that week. All right? Remember, if we don't recycle our trash, most of it is going to go into the landfill and just cause pollution. So it's always good to sort and recycle what we use and what we don't need. Now we're going to listen to a story about a fish named Finley. Find out why Finley needs to find a new home. Let's listen.
Finley Fish finds a new stream. It was a beautiful, warm spring day. The stream that Finley lived in sparkled in the sunlight. Finley wiggled through the water, looking for something to eat. After finishing his breakfast, he swam a few laps up and down the stream. During his exercise, he swam past a new patch of water plants. They were blue and green. He thought, I'll have to come back and try some of that. Later that day, Finley set out to find something to eat again. He remembered seeing the new blue and green water plants, but he saw an insect first and ate it instead. Not long after, Finley heard his stomach growl and thought, I'm still hungry. He swam back to where he'd been earlier and feasted on the water plants. These taste funny. I think I've had enough, Finley decided. The next morning, Finley woke up with a little tummy ache. I think I might be coming down with something. I don't feel very well. He tried to eat breakfast, but he just couldn't. His tummy twisted and turned inside. He tried to swim fast, but he felt too weak. Poor Finley. Finley wondered why he felt so terrible. I wonder if there is something in the water making me feel this way. Did I eat something new? All of a sudden, he remembered the new water plants he'd eaten the day before. Those plants must have been polluted, Finley exclaimed. Finley was a wise little fish. He knew that if something in his home was making him sick, he needed to move. Right away, he swam up the stream to escape the pollution. After a long swim, Finley found a new home. At first, Finley still felt a little sick, but soon he began to feel better as he lived in the new area with healthy plants. The stream ran clear, and the water sparkled as the sunlight came down. Finley was happy to be swimming laps again.
Okay, let's go back and try to understand this story better. What does the word wise mean on page 11? How can you be wise about taking care of Earth? Let's see what Finley said here. He said,
Finley wondered why he felt so terrible. I wonder if there is something in the water making me feel this way. Did I eat something new? All of a sudden, he remembered the new water plants he'd eaten the day before. Those plants must have been polluted, Finley exclaimed. Finley was a wise little fish. He knew that if something in his home was making him sick, he needed to move.
So Finley was a wise little fish. So it means that Finley had good judgment and made a good decision. We can make good decisions like making sure trash goes into the proper bin instead of on the ground or in the water. Let's look at this page here. How does the water look in Finley's new home? It looks clear and it has sparkling water. So the sunshine could reach all the way through the water because there was no pollution and it was healthy so that the fish could stay healthy also. Let's go over some vocabulary words. The first one is recycle. When we recycle, we make something new from something old. That is called recycle. So we can recycle these metal cans and make something new with them. Reduce, to use less of something. So when you reduce, you're using less of something, like you're turning off the light if you're not in the room, so that you're not wasting electricity. So when you reduce, you use less of something. Reuse. Reuse is when you use something again. So when we saw these bottles in the wall, they used it as a decoration. They're reusing the bottles rather than throwing them in a landfill, polluting the land. So it's good to reuse items. Okay, many things that we use are made from recycled objects. We're going to watch this video. It's called Recycling Plant. This video shows the process of how materials are picked up, sorted, and then turned into new products. Let's watch.
It's important to take good care of Earth. One way we can do this is by recycling. To recycle means to make a new thing from an old thing. But how does recycling work? Well, once your recyclables are picked up, they are taken to a recycling center. Here, everything is dumped out of the truck and moved onto a conveyor belt that carries them inside, where people sort them and machines sort them. People also pull out items, like plastic bags, that could damage the machines. There are many different machines helping to sort all of the items. Once everything is sorted, the recyclables are packaged into big cubes and sent to companies that will turn them into new items. This is what paper and cardboard look like while being recycled at a paper mill. Then, that paper and cardboard mixture is turned into this huge roll of new paper. Newspapers, cardboard boxes, milk jugs, soda cans, bicycle parts, and even washing machines can be made with recycled materials. What kinds of things will you use today that were made from recycled materials?
So what objects can be made from recycled materials? You remember? Well, milk jugs, newspapers, cardboard boxes, washing machines, and bicycle parts. They can be made from recycled materials. What things do you use that can be made from recycled materials? Well, things such as plastic toys or milk jugs, construction paper, and cardboard. It's always good to recycle. Let's see how these objects can be recycled. So we have this aluminum can. The aluminum cans can be recycled to make aluminum foil. All right, look at these bottles. So these are glass bottles. Glass bottles can be recycled to make bricks. All right, what is this? Paper. What do you think we can make out of this? Paper can be recycled to make toilet paper. All right, these are these plastic bottles? Let's see. Plastic bottles are recycled to make plastic furniture. So see, rather than throwing things in the trash, we can recycle things and they can be made into new things that we use. Okay, we're going to listen to this nonfiction selection, and it's called Taking Care of Our Earth.
Taking care of our Earth, Earth's resources. People need the animals, water, plants, and air on Earth to survive. Sometimes our choices affect Earth in bad ways, such as when we pollute. Remember that pollution harms things in the air, land, and water. We can make better choices that help take care of Earth and keep it clean. Animals and water are important to our environment. Plants are a big part of our environment. Reduce to protect Earth. We help take care of Earth when we reduce or use less water each day. That way, we can make sure there is enough water for all living things. We can turn off the water while we brush our teeth. We can pour old water from a pet's water dish onto plants instead of throwing out the water. Animals and plants need water. Small changes can reduce how much water we use. Reuse to protect Earth. When we reuse something, we use that thing again, sometimes for a new purpose. When we reuse things in different ways, we make less trash. Reusing also saves the energy it takes to make something new. Egg cartons can be reused as containers for plants or paint. Many things can be reused instead of thrown out. Recycle to protect Earth. Another way we can protect Earth is to recycle. Recycle means to make a new thing from an old thing. Instead of throwing away paper, we can recycle it into new paper. That way, we do not need to cut down so many trees. Old paper can be recycled into new paper. Conserve. Finding ways to reduce, reuse, and recycle are all things we can do to conserve. When we conserve, we save, keep, or protect things in the environment. We use materials carefully to cut down waste. These steps help make sure natural resources will still be around in the future. They keep the environment clean and healthy. We can recycle or repair things instead of throwing them in the trash.
What are the things listed that people need to survive? Do you remember? People need animals, plants, water, and air. Describe the things in the pictures on page 18 that are being reused. And 19. There's a cloth shopping bag. There's clothing. The egg cartons are being reused. And those look like baby jars are being reused to put paint in them. So always think about how we can reuse things rather than throwing things in the garbage. And that's how we reduce pollution. Turn to page 198 in your science books. This is the vocabulary that we went over. So you're going to listen for these words as you learn how to reduce, reuse, and recycle. We did not go over that first word. It says compost. Let's go over compost. A compost is a mixture of dead plants that is used to improve the soil in a garden. That is what compost is. It's a mixture of dead plants that is used to help the soil in the garden so things can grow better. So we're recycling dead plants rather than throwing them away. So we watched the video about recycling. So I want you to circle 2 words of our vocabulary and talk to your parents or an older sibling about those 2 words you used and that you learned. So just talk about what they mean to you. There's compost, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, so just talk about those 2 words. All right, turn to page 199 in your science books. We read taking care of our earth, right? I want you to draw things that you can reduce, reuse, or recycle. So in the first box here, think of things that you can reduce. That means not use so much of. And then in the second box, things you can reuse. And if you need to go back and look at the video about taking care of our earth, you can do that and get some ideas. And then the last box, I want you to draw something that you can recycle. Okay, don't forget your name and date on your paper. Let's now turn to page 200 in your science book. Okay, so a cause makes something happen. So we're talking about cause and effect. A cause makes something happen, and an effect is what happens. Okay, so what is the effect of recycling? Well, recycling can turn one object into something new. So here, how does recycling change a material? So we looked at things being recycled, do you remember? So what I want you to do is draw. Here's the material. You're going to draw what recycling that material would look like after recycling. So this is a can. It's a metal can. What would it look like after we recycled it? And how about a water bottle, a plastic water bottle? I want you to draw what it would look like after recycling it. And how about newspapers? Draw what it would look like after it is recycled into something new. I can't wait to see your drawings. Okay, let's turn to page 201. So we were talking about compost, and we were saying how it helps the soil so the plants can grow healthier, and we use dead plants in compost, we recycle them. So in composting, you can use leaves. People usually put it in a container. You can put dead leaves, you can put grass, even food scraps like fruits or vegetables, so you don't waste it. You put it all in this composter, and you wait until it becomes mushy, and you put it in the soil so that when you are trying to grow vegetables or plants or any type of vegetation, any plant, trees, it makes them grow healthier because it gives them a lot of nutrients in the soil. So I want you to draw a composter and draw a picture of the container and what you would put inside. So remember, you can put food scraps, You can even put eggshells because those break down. They have calcium in them. So draw a picture of a container that you would make compost and what you would put inside of that container. Okay? Let's go to page 202 in your science book. Make sure your name and date is up on top. All right, this is a performance task. Reduce trash poster. So you're going to need paper. You can use poster board. You can use markers. You can use crayons if you'd like. You can do it on this page if you would like. You don't have to do it on a big poster board since we're not in class. So you can try to do all of the work on this page, but if you need another paper, that is fine. You can use another paper. So what you're going to do is in class, you'd work with a group. You can work with an older sibling or with your parents. And I want you to think of 3 ways to make less trash in your classroom. You're going to make a poster. Okay, you're going to show what you learned in this module. So you already saw how people can reduce, recycle, and reuse. Now I want you to come up with 3 ways that you can reduce trash. You're going to color your pictures and you're going to label it. So over here, there's 1, 2, and 3. 3 ways that you can reduce trash. All right? I can't wait to see your ideas because I'm sure you're going to come up with some good ones. Now I want you to go to page 203. Don't forget your name and date at the top. All right, our essential question is, how can we take care of Earth? What do you think we can do to take care of Earth? What were we talking about? We can reduce, reuse, and recycle. That is how we can take care of Earth. And at the bottom over here, after you write that, rate yourself 1, 2, or 3 stars. You can color that in, okay? Good job, superstars. I'm so proud of you all. Until next time, I want you to have an amazing day. Bye.